The story begins in a bustling futuristic spaceport, a giant floating hub in the vastness of space. Ships from all over the galaxy dock here for repairs, upgrades, and resupply. Among the many skilled workers, Jack, a young but highly talented human mechanic and pilot, is hard at work. He's known for fixing even the most complicated spacecraft, something that earned him an excellent reputation, even among aliens. Jack, with his brown hair and strong build, works tirelessly in the repair hangar. His hands are covered in grease, and his eyes are focused on the intricate machinery of a damaged spaceship. But Jack's mind is sharp and clear, always thinking ahead, solving problems faster than anyone else around. He's known for his ability to tackle tasks that most would consider impossible. His confidence is quiet but unshakable. One day, as Jack is working on an older model of an alien starship, a sleek and mysterious ship docks nearby. It's an alien vessel unlike anything Jack has seen before, with sharp angles and glowing lights. From it steps Zayla, the captain of this advanced species. She's tall, elegant, and commands attention as she walks through the crowded hangar. Her alien features make her stand out, striking purple skin, glowing eyes, and long silver hair that seems to shimmer in the dim light of the spaceport. Zayla, though clearly impressive in her presence, has an air of arrogance about her. She's heard of Jack's skills, but in her eyes, humans are primitive compared to her technologically advanced species. She views them as weak and their technology as outdated. Still, her ship is in need of repairs, and she reluctantly seeks out Jack. As she approaches, she makes her demands clear. "I need my ship repaired, human. Quickly and efficiently," she states coldly. Jack looks up, sizing her up with a calm expression. He's dealt with arrogant clients before, but something about Zayla's presence is different. She carries herself with the kind of power that demands respect. "I can fix it," Jack replies with a confident smile. "But it's going to take more than just a basic repair." He points to the damage in her ship, showing her a few details that even Zayla had missed. Zayla's eyes narrow. She's both impressed and a little annoyed. "I don't have time for delays." "Just do your job, human," she snaps, though she doesn't dismiss him entirely. She hands over the ship's diagnostics and walks away, knowing that Jack is capable, even if she doesn't fully trust him yet. Jack begins working on the ship, his hands moving with precision, fixing the ship's engines, recalibrating the circuits, and enhancing systems. The alien tech is sophisticated, but Jack is used to working with complex machinery. As he works, he notices Zayla watching him from a distance, her eyes filled with curiosity. She's been in space long enough to know that humans don't usually handle this level of technology, but there's something different about Jack. He's methodical, fast, and seems to be able to adapt to any situation. She's impressed, but she won't admit it. As Jack finishes up the repairs, a loud alarm suddenly blares across the spaceport. It's an emergency alert. Hostile ships are approaching, and they're headed straight for the station. The lights flash red, and chaos erupts as people rush to evacuate. Zayla's face hardens. She knows this could mean disaster. "Get to your ship, human!" she orders urgently as she begins running toward her own vessel. Jack follows, trying to make sense of what's happening. His heart races as he notices several enemy ships appearing on the radar. They're not just coming to attack. They're targeting the entire spaceport. As the spaceport's defense systems scramble to respond, Zayla turns to Jack. "I need you to pilot my ship. Now." She looks at him, her eyes full of urgency and command. Jack hesitates for a moment, his mind racing. He doesn't know why she's asking him, a human, to take the wheel of a ship like hers. But then he realizes there's no time to question it. If he doesn't act fast, they'll all be dead. "Are you sure you want me to fly?" Jack asks, his voice steady but filled with disbelief. Zayla's gaze is intense. "You're the only one here who can. Do you want to survive or not?" With no choice, Jack jumps into the cockpit of Zayla's ship, his fingers flying across the controls. The ship's engines roar to life, and he immediately hits the throttle, lifting the ship off the ground. Zayla's ship, equipped with cloaking devices and advanced weapons, can outrun most, but this is something else. He's never piloted an alien vessel of this caliber before. As Jack maneuvers the ship, Zayla watches in silent awe. She had expected Jack to struggle, but instead, he handles the complex systems like he's been flying ships like this his whole life. Zayla quickly realizes that this human has abilities she never imagined, and this primitive species might not be so weak after all. The spaceport alarms grow louder, and Jack pushes the ship into high speed, dodging incoming fire and weaving through the chaos. The unknown enemy ships are closing in, but Jack is focused, using his instincts and the ship's advanced tech to stay one step ahead. Zayla, still in shock but impressed by Jack's abilities, looks at him with a new respect. The ship zips through space, and they're about to face their biggest challenge yet. But little does Zayla know. Jack is just getting started. As soon as Jack takes control of Zayla's ship, he feels the power beneath his hands. He quickly activates the ship's systems, unlocking advanced features that were previously unknown to him. His fingers fly over the controls, and the ship's engines roar to life. With a surge of speed, they blast off from the spaceport, the hum of the engines growing louder as the ship cuts through the vacuum of space. But escaping the spaceport isn't as easy as it sounds. As Jack steers the ship away, his eyes widen in horror. The enemy ships are already closing in, their powerful weapons aimed straight at them. They're fast and they're furious. Jack knows that if he doesn't act fast, they'll be caught, and it won't just be Zayla's ship that's destroyed. It will be the end of them both. Jack takes a deep breath, pushing the ship's controls into overdrive. His heart races as he activates the cloaking device. In an instant, the ship becomes nearly invisible, blending into the darkness of space. The only sign of its existence is a faint ripple in the stars, but even that is hard to detect at high speeds. The AI-enhanced navigation system takes over, guiding Jack through a series of complex maneuvers that would make even the bravest pilots nervous. Zayla, still in her seat next to Jack, can't believe what she's seeing. This human is good. Really good. She watches as Jack pushes the ship's capabilities to their limit, effortlessly weaving through asteroids and dodging enemy fire. The ship is shaking from the force of high-speed turns, but Jack doesn't falter. He's fully focused, his hands steady on the controls. How is he doing this? Zayla mutters under her breath, both impressed and shocked. The ship's systems are advanced, yes, but she never thought a human could understand how to use them so quickly, let alone push them to their absolute limits. As Jack maneuvers the ship through a narrow gap between two large asteroids, he smirks. "You'd be surprised what humans can do when they're forced to think fast," he says, his voice calm despite the chaos around them. Zayla doesn't reply. She's too busy watching in awe as Jack brings them even closer to the edge of danger. The enemy ships, though fast and powerful, are having trouble keeping up. Jack's quick reflexes and daring moves are leaving them in the dust. Every time the enemy thinks they've locked onto the ship, Jack does something unexpected. A sharp turn, a sudden boost of speed, or a change in direction so fast that even the most advanced enemy AI can't keep up. As they enter a dense asteroid field, the enemy ships hesitate, not daring to follow. The large floating rocks create an obstacle course that Jack expertly navigates, dodging every obstacle with a skill that's almost impossible to believe. Zayla's eyes widen with amazement, but she doesn't say a word. She's starting to realize that Jack isn't just a talented mechanic. He's a fearless pilot, too. For a moment, everything is silent, the only sound the hum of the ship's engines. Zayla glances at Jack, her mind racing. She's never seen a human do anything like this. She might have doubted him before, but now she's beginning to see what he's truly capable of. Jack pushes the ship even harder, sending it into another heart-stopping dive through an asteroid cluster. The ship shakes violently, but Jack holds steady, his grip tight on the controls. Zayla can't help but feel a surge of respect for him. He's not just flying the ship, he's making it dance through space. As the enemy ships finally start to fall behind, Jack takes a deep breath. They've made it out of immediate danger, but the journey is far from over. Zayla's ship might have the most advanced technology, but Jack's instincts and quick thinking are what saved them this time. Zayla looks at him, and for the first time, she says something that surprises them both. "You're better than I thought, human." Jack just grins, his eyes focused on the path ahead. Glad to hear it. As Jack continues to fly the alien ship, he starts to explore more of its advanced technology. His eyes scan the glowing controls as he activates a hidden feature, the stealth mode. With a single touch, the ship's outer hull flickers and shifts, becoming almost invisible against the backdrop of the stars. Jack feels the thrill of being almost undetectable, knowing this could be their secret weapon in the battle ahead. But stealth isn't the only surprise the ship has in store. Jack's fingers move swiftly across the control panel, unlocking the high-energy plasma cannons, weapons so powerful that only the elite forces of the alien species were supposed to have access to them. The cannons hum to life with a deadly intensity, and Jack's heart races with excitement. He has no idea how to use them exactly, but the AI in the ship is more than willing to help him aim. Suddenly, Zayla's voice breaks through his concentration. "We're surrounded," she says, her tone serious. Jack looks out through the viewing window. Enemy ships are closing in from all sides. The battle has begun. Without hesitation, Jack slams his hands onto the controls, launching the ship into a sharp dive. The AI and robotic drones begin to take over the ship's defense systems. The drones shoot out from the ship, acting like a swarm of mechanical bees, attacking the enemy ships and providing cover for their escape. The enemy ships retaliate quickly, their plasma blasts lighting up the darkness of space. The battle is fast and furious. Jack pulls the ship into a sharp turn, narrowly avoiding a barrage of fire from one of the enemy cruisers. The plasma cannons on the ship roar, sending bursts of deadly energy into the heart of the nearest enemy ship. The enemy vessel erupts in a fiery explosion, but Jack doesn't have time to celebrate. He needs to focus. Zayla's voice comes again, but this time it's calmer. "We need to make our way to the cruiser. It's their flagship." Jack nods without saying a word. He knows the primary enemy cruiser is their real target. The orbital bombardments rain down from the enemy ships, exploding in flashes of light as they miss Jack's ship by mere inches. Jack's heart pounds in his chest as he pulls the ship into a daring maneuver, diving and weaving through the blasts. Each second feels like an eternity. The ship is shaking under the pressure, but Jack pushes on, his hands steady on the controls. As they come closer to the enemy cruiser, the close-quarters combat begins. The enemy ships try to corner them, but Jack uses every trick in the book. High-speed maneuvers, sudden stops, and sharp turns, all while Zayla issues commands, guiding him to weak points in the enemy's formation. With every shot they fire, Jack feels the rush of battle coursing through him. The ship's plasma cannons fire again, taking out another enemy fighter. The enemies are overwhelmed, but the enemy cruiser, much larger and stronger than the rest, is still looming ahead, waiting for its chance to strike. Jack knows that this fight isn't over yet. The real battle is just about to begin. The primary enemy cruiser looms ahead, its massive guns pointing directly at Jack and Zayla's ship. The enemy is ready for the final confrontation, and the odds are stacked against them. As the cruiser opens fire, Jack's heart races. He can feel the tension in the air. This is the battle that will decide everything. The cruiser's advanced AI system is unlike anything Jack has ever faced before. It reads their every move, predicting their actions before they even make them. Every twist, turn, and sudden maneuver Jack attempts is immediately countered. The enemy AI seems to be one step ahead, and Jack starts to feel trapped. The enemy cruiser is too powerful, and the human ship is much smaller and weaker. Zayla's voice is calm, but Jack can hear the strain in it. "We can't keep dodging like this forever." She glances at the control panel and realizes the severity of the situation. The enemy cruiser's AI has them pinned down. The energy blasts from the cruiser are relentless, and the ship is starting to take damage. As Jack activates the cloaking device once again, the ship vanishes into the stars, nearly invisible. The enemy AI can't track them anymore. Jack pushes the throttle forward, silently closing the gap between their ship and the enemy cruiser. Zayla looks at him, unsure of what he's planning, but she trusts him. In the silence of space, they draw closer and closer. At the last possible moment, Jack cuts the cloaking device and positions the ship directly in front of the enemy cruiser. With a quick command, he launches the EMP attack, sending a powerful electromagnetic pulse into the heart of the cruiser's systems. For a split second, everything goes still. The enemy cruiser's AI system begins to glitch and malfunction. It can no longer predict their moves, and the ship starts to lose control. The AI struggles to reboot, but it's too late. With a loud explosion, the enemy cruiser erupts in a fiery blast. The shockwave from the explosion ripples through space, and the enemy fleet is caught in the blast. They scatter in all directions, unable to recover from the sudden devastation. The battle is over. Jack and Zayla stare at the wreckage of the enemy cruiser, still processing what just happened. It was a close call, and the odds were against them the entire time, but they've won. Jack looks over at Zayla, who finally allows herself a small, relieved smile. She's impressed. "You really know how to take the reins, don't you?" she says. Jack grins back, but he knows this victory came at a high price. It's a win against all odds, but there's still a lot more to be done. As the remaining enemy ships retreat, Jack and Zayla look ahead. They've made it this far, but the galaxy is vast, and new challenges are always on the horizon. As the dust settles, Jack and Zayla find themselves floating in the quiet vastness of space. The battle is over. The enemy ships have retreated, and their ship has survived the impossible. The feeling of relief is overwhelming, but Jack knows they're not out of danger yet. They have no idea if other enemies are nearby, but for now, they're safe. Zayla sits in the pilot's seat next to Jack, her hands still slightly shaking from the adrenaline rush. She glances at him, a thoughtful expression on her face. After a few moments of silence, she speaks, her voice softer than usual. You know, I've never really considered humans to be much more than, well, weak. Her eyes meet Jack's, and there's an unfamiliar sincerity in her gaze. But after everything that just happened, I have to admit, I was wrong. You've proven that humans can handle themselves, even against the most advanced alien technology. Jack raises an eyebrow but doesn't say anything right away. He's surprised, but he can see the change in Zayla. The arrogance and superiority she once carried seem to have melted away. Instead of looking down on him as a mere human, she now looks at him with something like respect. It's a huge shift for someone from such a technologically advanced alien race. Zayla continues, her tone more thoughtful now. Humans are resourceful, and you, Jack, you're fearless. You took on an enemy cruiser that was 10 times more powerful than anything we have. I didn't believe it was possible to win, but you showed me otherwise. She takes a deep breath, almost as if releasing a weight she didn't even realize she was carrying. You earned my respect, Jack, and I don't give that lightly. For the first time, Jack can see the walls Zayla had built around herself starting to crack. She's no longer the cold, calculating alien captain who thought humans were inferior. She's starting to understand that humans have something that can't be measured by technology, something deeper, something invaluable. Resilience. Jack smiles, feeling a sense of pride swell inside him. I told you, we're tougher than we look. He nods at the controls. We make do with what we've got and adapt. We don't back down from a fight. Zayla seems to think for a moment, then speaks again, her voice firm but with a touch of warmth. You've earned the right to pilot this ship, Jack. I'm offering you full control. She gestures to the ship's controls. From now on, this is your ship too. You're a part of my crew now, and I think together we can accomplish something far greater than either of us could alone. Jack's eyes widen in surprise. The offer is more than just a position, it's a sign of trust. He knows that Zayla has never trusted anyone this much before. He nods gratefully. I won't let you down, Zayla. Together, we'll be ready for whatever comes next. With that, an unbreakable bond forms between them. It's a connection forged through shared struggle, respect, and the realization that, despite their differences, they are stronger together than apart. As they look out into the endless stars of space, both of them know this is just the beginning. There are countless dangers in the galaxy and countless enemies still waiting for them. But with their newfound bond, they're ready to face whatever the universe throws their way.